Hello and welcome back to Third and Long Podcast. I'm your host Mason Rooney, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host, who got to watch Kirk Cousins be clutch for a second straight week, Cody Starron. Say hello, Cody.
Two game-winning drives, only one worked though.
I mean, you guys
Key
won both
Greg
those
Joseph.
games, so I consider
Was
that
that?
overtime game-winning drive a game-winning drive.
I was talking about the two this week. The one to put him into field goal
Oh
range,
yeah,
just have
yeah,
Joseph miss it again.
yeah. I mean, name a more iconic duo than Vikings kickers and missed field goals.
Especially to win games.
Yeah, game-winning field goals. So anyway, in this episode, we're gonna recap a very interesting, to say the least, week 6 of football, and look ahead to Thursday night football of Denver versus Cleveland. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Cody, the streak is finally over.
Matthew Wright is a hog.
For real. The,
From software designer or whatever it was to winning the first game in Jags
since
season
was it like 20 games? I think they said
2026, something like that. Yeah.
I think 26 is the record, but
Oh,
still,
okay.
they. I predicted this last week. I had a feeling that Jacksonville will get it done in their second home, and they got it done in their second home.
And it just further proves that Miami is dead.
Yeah, it's so weird. What does Miami do now? They don't have their first round pick. They are kind of stuck with Tua,
Tua's not really looking like he's that guy right now.
but it's not necessarily all Tua's fault.
No.
But he's just not getting the help that you would think this Miami team would have going into the season, because Miami was projected as like a I don't even know how many wins they're projected, but considering how well they did
Around the
last
10
year,
area.
yeah, they were projected like around double-digit wins. And considering how well they finished off the last season, you would
They have a
think they
better
would
team
be,
this year than they did
yeah,
last year.
yeah, they have a better team. But I don't know what's going on with this Miami team. Like, they can't really afford to be losing right now because they don't have their first round pick. So,
I kind of think of them as the 2017 or 18 Twins. Kind of. Everybody on that team peaked at the exact same time. They hit like 350 home runs or whatever. I kind of think the same thing happening here. Everyone peaked last year for the Dolphins, and now this year they've just kind of taken one step back.
yeah, like, it is jarring just to see how the fall from greatness the Dolphins fell.
They don't necessarily have that veteran presence.
Yeah,
Quarterback.
is Fitzmagic really that was Fitzmagic really that important for this Miami team?
He's a guy that demands a lot of respect around the locker room, so if
Well,
he said
he's a
something,
guy
you
that just
listen.
demands a lot of respect. Have you seen that beard? Pretty sure that
That's
beard's
true.
older than Tua.
That's probably exactly the case too.
Yeah, so yeah, Miami needs to figure out what the hell to do because they can't afford to be losing right now. Do you remember what they get? What they traded up with the Eagles? I know that Eagles were at 6, and They really gave up the first round pick next year for Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't necessarily agree with trading up for wide receivers.
No, I don't have a problem with trading up for wide receivers. It's giving up a first round pick for a wide receiver who didn't
My thing is,
really fit what you needed.
well, my thing is you should really like trade up for quarterbacks because
Yeah,
there's a lot of receivers that have a lot of talent through the top 3 rounds.
yeah. I'm not saying I disagree with you, but if I mean the Eagles did it and it worked out for them with Devontae Smith so far at least. So I just think
The
it
Dolphins honestly need
like
better offensive line play. I think.
yeah, they didn't need a receiver because they had Devontae Parker on the team already. They had Mike Gesicki. They just signed Will Fuller. Granted, he was suspended for the first few games, and
I mean,
I
what he
just
had before Will Fuller came back was workable with.
yeah, I didn't see the need for a receiver. I get that you wanted to give Tua weapons, but you know what else he needs? Protection. So I Miami had a very weird offseason, and it's now showing how weird and bad it probably was. So,
Absolutely.
going on into the morning games, Cody, it happened again. Kirk is actually clutch, but no one's going to give him his respect because it's Kirk Cousins.
Well, I'm hoping that this week shows that Kirk Cousins arm ability with his arm and his decision making has never been the problem here. It's been that he either can't put up 100 points to help the defense from their lack of successes,
Or his kicker misses the game winning field goal.
his kicker missing field goals, or just Mike Zimmer handcuffing the offense in every capacity, just wanting to pound the rock.
Yeah. I mean,
Hopefully Zimmer kind of sees that know,
you could air it out.
Kirk's got a connection with both Jefferson and Thielen. He's got a connection with D.D. Westbrook a little bit too. He even said that he fully entrusts D.D. Westbrook. I mean, everything's going good for the passing game. Delvin Cook gets banged up easy. Why not just use Delvin a little more sparingly, keep him healthier throughout the season, and
I mean,
pass the ball
Alexander
a little bit.
Madison showed in his time where Cook was hurt that he could be your lead back if you
Oh,
need him to be.
absolutely.
So
I'm just saying, if you're
they have the
gonna pound the
ability to
rock,
split the workload in that backfield, which is not something a lot of teams are able to do.
but at the same time, if your pass game is working as well as the Vikings is right now, you don't really have that worry right now.
Yeah. So
And
hope
Kirk Cousins can throw for 400 yards, no problem.
yeah. Hopefully Zimmer realizes that he doesn't have to be one dimensional with it.
This could be a really good football team.
Yeah. On the other side of the coin, Carolina has lost 3 straight after going 3-0 to start the year.
It's
And
Christian McCaffrey, man.
yeah, yeah, you could easily point at that as like they're missing their best offensive weapon. So
I mean, and Darnold doesn't look good without McCaffrey. I think he's got like they showed a graphic. I think it was like 7 interceptions without Christian McCaffrey and 0 with. So
yeah, I mean McCaffrey is actually that guy. He's similar to
then
trying to think of other teams. Similar, he is the lifeblood of that offense. He needs to be on the field if you want to have a chance to win. And right now, he's showing that without him on the field, you're not going to be able to win games.
he's a quarterback's dream safety blanket.
Absolutely, him
Dump
and
it off to
Kamara.
him. He can make something happen at any point.
Yeah. So they are. When did McCaffrey get put on IR? Was it this week or last week?
Right before the Vikings game, like 3 days before.
So that means he would be eligible in 2 weeks. So they have to. They're out without McCaffrey for at least 2 more weeks, at minimum. So
Because he can't come back till like Wednesday of that week, right? It's 3 weeks.
yeah, you have to wait 3 weeks after you get put on IR. The shortest amount of time you can spend on IR is 3 weeks. So,
So my guess he's probably going to be out for 3 games.
well, he's been out for like a month at this point. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to wait at least 2 more games at minimum for McCaffrey to get back, and hopefully they could go.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully they could go 1-1 because they desperately
I
need
would
to.
I guess he's probably gonna be out for 3 more. It's not very often they come off IR on Wednesday or Thursday, and
I mean, it's possible. So
it's possible, but
we'll see. Chargers Baltimore. I just want to apologize first off, saying I was hyping this game up to be like a great game. Everyone was disappointed with the way Chargers played. In our notes here, I put Chargers came out like their fans, non-existent. So it was a very bad game for the Chargers. I don't even know where to start.
Baltimore's got another weapon at receiver this week too, and he showed that he can play some ball in Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, I mean this was his first game back, wasn't he?
So. And he had I think 4 catches for like 50 yards or something, but
yeah.
People forget he's the first round pick down there, and the man can play.
Yeah, he was a first round pick for a reason. But yeah. I just want to say, Baltimore has gone through so many injuries. Everyone counted them out. I counted their ass out, but they are resilient as hell, and they are definitely Super Bowl contenders, even with half their team on IR and Ronnie Stanley just getting put on that today. So
I think the other thing is that when their players that are going down with injury go down, they're bringing in vets. They're not bringing in 2015 first round rejects or whatever, right?
Yeah,
They're bringing in people like Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray.
yeah,
And they're surrounding with people who've won in their careers and they know what it takes to win.
yeah,
I think that plays a big role in how they're able to still win.
yeah. So shout out to the Ravens for being probably the most resilient team in the NFL. I don't think there's a team in the NFL that could come back, that could do this well with all these injuries they've sustained. So
No, Lamar Jackson is just he just refuses to lose at this point. So
yeah, Rams Giants. It, did Rams and Giants play?
uh, yeah,
They did.
Rams played, not the Giants.
Oh really? I had no idea.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell if it was just 11 on 11 or like 7 on 7 type practice, just Rams on Rams type stuff. But yeah,
yeah.
apparently I guess Giants played, huh? Well, yeah, how about them Rams? Houston Indy. I will always say this. Jonathan Taylor needs to be the focal point of that Indy offense if they want any chance to compete.
Absolutely.
And this week they showed that they could put the offense into Jonathan Taylor's hands, and it will pan out for them.
Absolutely.
It,
And T.Y. Hilton was looking good coming back this week too.
yeah, they're going to need him to continue to play well because Paris Campbell just got put on IR, so it was their
Sucks though
deep
because
threat until this week.
again the Colts are one of those teams that they don't have very many threats on offense other than Jonathan Taylor. You
Yeah,
know they had Paris Campbell. He's a speed receiver. You finally get T.Y. Hilton back and Paris Campbell's gone. So when you get all three of them at the same time, it's kind of what Indy's probably thinking right now.
yeah. I just want to say Brandon Cooks is probably the most underrated receiver in the NFL right now.
Oh, absolutely. He always has been.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say he's always been underrated. When he got traded to the Rams, I felt like he was overrated because he was on the Rams. Uh, I feel like if you go to the Rams, you just automatically become overrated. But that's just me as a Seahawks fan, probably. So
And on the Patriots, they didn't really use him very well.
yeah, the Saints. I mean, it was weird with him and the Saints, but Houston, he's been playing great, and he needs to get out of there ASAP.
Remember, what was it, like 5 years ago? The debate was who was the better receiver between Brandon Cooks and Kelvin Benjamin.
I do. Well, we've known the answer for that question. So
Oh
one of them is
man,
actually in the
those were
league.
good. He's
Uh,
fat.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it was last year or 2 years ago. Booker McFarland said he's one Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard from a commentator.
He must have had that Popeye's biscuit because remember he tried out for a tight end
I
this year.
know. I know. I thought that was funny when Booger McFarland said that a few years ago on commentary. That
Unlike
had me
you,
dying. On to KC versus football team, where the football team, after how long has it been since Sean Taylor passed?
10, 15 years.
Yeah, after however long, they have retired Sean Taylor's number and put on a great ceremony. I don't know if you watched any of it. Very very cool to see them retire one of the better players in their team history. A very well loved player in NFL history.
Had potential to being their greatest player in NFL
I think,
history, if
yeah.
or football team history, if he would have.
Oh, he could have gone down as one of the greatest safeties of all time if he actually had would have been able to play. But unfortunately, we all know what happened with Sean Taylor. He was shot in his own home during a break-in. But
Yep.
yeah, they honored him, retired his number, and no person in football team for the rest of its tenure will ever wear 21, which is great. Was
Except
Sean?
Jackson Mahomes.
Well, he won't be wearing it. He'll be dancing on it. So that was probably the biggest storyline of this game, but aside from Patty Mahomes throwing literally the worst pick of all time.
I didn't get to see that. I know We're talking about. I didn't get to see it quite yet.
Well, it was a mess from the first from the moment it got snapped because it was a fumbled snap. I don't remember if it was on Patty or the center, but Patty dropped. It was a fumble, and he was rolling out, and like because he was rolling out as he was bobbling the ball, and he kind of just like pushed it up instead of like being able to throw it, and just kind of fell into a football team player's hands.
Jesus,
It was a very ugly interception.
I'm about to watch it right now.
Yeah. But like we said, or like I said, Jackson Mahomes dancing on Sean Taylor's number on the field was probably the biggest storyline going into this, or coming out of this game. And I think I talked to you about this and like name a more self entitled family in NFL history than the Mahomes family. Because dude, every week you have Patrick Mahomes' wife on Twitter talking something. Jackson Mahomes, who got famous because of Patrick Mahomes and dancing on TikTok. And this week, his mother came out on Twitter and said, "Tipped passes should not count against a quarterback." Which I get the sentiment, but you still don't want to throw it. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of get where his mom's coming from. I get that angle. All the other ones is just like, be quiet. It's football. It's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna lose games.
yeah, but
It's not. Patrick Mahomes isn't gonna go 16-1 every single year of his career.
they expect him to.
I know they expect him to, but he's got $500 million, 500 million reasons for you to be quiet. So
Yeah, so I think Casey ended up walking out with this win. So
pretty handily,
yeah,
if I remember correctly.
I mean it wasn't handily. I think it may have looked handily, but it was a pretty close game for most of it. Green Bay versus Chicago. Hey, I didn't. Did you know Aaron Rodgers filed for part ownership of the Bears?
Yeah, he yelled it right at people. He owns them.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know he was majority owner. That's weird. That's wild.
He owns them.
Yeah. Also, Matt Nagy needs to get the hell out of Chicago.
Absolutely.
All right, just looking ahead to the offseason, what head coaching jobs do you think are going to be open?
Bears, Vikings.
You think Zimmer's gone? You think Zimmer's going to be gone?
After this year, probably.
You think You think Joe Judge is going to be gone? I wouldn't be surprised if he is gone.
He'll probably be gone just because he's not really showing any improvement from year to year.
Yeah, I could see Vic Fangio going. He's Denver.
Where is he? Never. Yeah, he could be gone. Like, just for the record, going back to the Bears, Aaron Rodgers owning them, he's earned the right to say that because he's got a 22-5 career record against him.
Yeah. So we didn't talk about this. I don't think we talked about it on the last episode, but did you see the clip of Aaron Rodgers trying to name every starting Bears QB since he started, or it was either since he started or came into the league? But
He couldn't even guess Nick Foles.
I know he couldn't even guess the Cutlet. I don't think he guessed Cutler.
I don't think so either.
So it's been fun. It was funny watching that. He's like he named 4 and then just gave up.
I also think that I'm not gonna say Urban Meyer's gonna be gone, but I do think that who's the other first year coach? Sirianni. I think he'll end up being out of there too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Sirianni ends up getting canned.
I don't know if he would genuinely deserve it, but
I don't think first year coaches should be fired. I think you have to give them at least 2 to 3.
In my opinion, first year coaches are just coming in to unmess up what the previous coach messed up.
Yeah.
And then years 2, 3, and 4 is kind of your judgment years.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sirianni gets canned, but I don't think he should.
No.
Hey, there's another game here that apparently happened: Cincinnati versus Detroit. I don't remember that game happening.
Cincinnati won.
Oh, really? Was it at least a close game? Because Detroit has been having close games lately.
I don't think so. I don't even know the score. I can't be completely honest.
I just know it was a blowout. It was like 31-3 or something. It was bad. So yeah, who cares about these blowout? Not these blowout games. Afternoon games. We had three of them. Arizona, Cleveland. Cody, let me ask you something. Is Cleveland's season in jeopardy?
Yeah, it's going to be dependent on how Baker Mayfield is able to play through his injury.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna
I
have to
mean,
start running the offense through him, especially with Chubb and Hunt out. So,
yeah,
and he has a
he
messed up shoulder. So,
hasn't really proven this year that he can sling the ball either.
yeah. Granted, he has had a torn labrum for most of the year, but he,
Well, it was partially torn, but now it's completely torn.
yeah, thanks JJ. I don't know
Yeah,
who got the sack. Was it JJ?
yeah, JJ. I think it was JJ that hit him, and then immediately turned and started waving towards the trainers.
Yeah, I remember seeing the clip of JJ rushing out the trainers to get to Baker because he knew something was
I
wrong.
think that's what happened. Is he hit him, he dropped him, and he turned.
He realized, oh shit, something's not right. Hey, hurry up. So
I'm gonna guess that he probably heard something, and when Baker hit that ground, that probably triggered that reaction.
yeah, yeah. JJ Watt's a very nice guy. Should have won MVP that one year. Uh, and also Arizona, they were able to get it done without Kingsbury out there, which isn't
Told you
really
it's
a
NFL.
surprise because I don't know how much play calling Kingsbury was actually doing. He could have been the
I mean,
whole
like
offensive play caller, but I don't think he
like I
would have
said
been.
last week, man, there's still NFL football players out there.
Yeah,
They know what they gotta do to get done. So
yeah.
I don't
So
think you necessarily need to coach on the sidelines every week for them to play their best football.
definitely not, but it definitely
It's
helps.
my opinion. Coaches are just there to see what all 11 guys are doing and how they can help out certain guys make mistakes.
Yeah,
And he can usually see the defense better than the quarterback can.
yeah. Arizona walked away with this win pretty handily.
Yeah.
Uh, Dallas, New England. Trayvon Diggs had a very wild last 5 minutes of that game. This man went from hero to zero to okay in a span of what was it like 4 plays.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Oh, Trayvon Diggs just cooked in that double move. I mean, it was just an out and up, but
I don't know if you saw, but Trayvon Diggs came out and said, yeah, that was on him. And then the safety, I think it was Demonte Kaze or something. He came out and said, like, nah, that was all on me. You do you. So it's nice to see that the Cowboys secondary is taking responsibility for such a bad play. I do think
well,
it
there
was
was
more so on the safety because he took a terrible angle and just kind of got toasted. But also
he tried to
Diggs
go for the
shouldn't.
knockout blow, and
Yeah, Diggs should at least have been. I don't know if it what type of player they're running, if it was zone or man or whatever, but he definitely should have been on him. So, but it doesn't
that
really matter in the
safety.
end, does it?
No, it doesn't. He still scored. Like you said, the worst play was safety.
Yeah.
I
This.
mean, obviously, you're gonna as a cornerback, you're gonna get beat a couple times, and if you have safety help over the top, like it looked like you did, safety should be there to at least, at minimum, make the tackle.
Yeah, but old boy took the worst angle of pursuit I've ever seen. I've seen better angles in Madden, and that's saying something. And yeah, the Pats' defense was cooked. Like they were well done out there.
Yeah.
The, this all said, this was the most passing yards any Bill Belichick team has led up at home. And boy, did you see CD's walk-off touchdown?
Who?
CD
Oh, CD
Lambs.
when you turned around, waved at him.
Yeah, that was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen from any football player.
Absolutely.
But that it was funny as hell though. He caught the ball. He like high kind of high stepped into the end zone and then got pushed, popped up and just started waving. Bye bye. That was the ultimate BM of any sport.
looked at the defense and to the NFL basically said, "Your taunting rule. I'm gonna do it all I want."
Yeah. What are they gonna do? Taunt the extra point in overtime? So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he gets fined for it though.
I don't think he'll get fined for it.
He probably won't, but I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL, the No Fun League, hits him like a, "Hey, you can't do that shit. You can't do that here. We're a No Fun League. You can't have fun."
Not bad.
Yeah. Uh, all right. Dallas ended up getting a walk-off OT win in that game. Vegas versus Denver. Vegas looked really good. Probably looked the best they've looked all season, and it was without Gruden.
I didn't get to watch this game where I was at because I live in Minnesota, so
Well, let me tell you, Vegas looked really good. They were getting the running backs involved. It wasn't just like, "Hey, we're gonna give the ball to Jacobs 18 million times, and we're gonna make sure we're gonna wear him down, and he might get injured again." No, they actually utilized all the running backs. Kenyon Drake had 2 touchdowns. Uh, Derek Carr had another 300-yard game. It was just all around a good game for the Raiders. Like on defense, Teddy's been good with the ball. He's best thing he's had, or best thing going for him this season was ball security, and I think he had like 3 turnovers, 2 picks and 1 fumble. I think maybe I could be wrong on that fumble. I know he threw 2 picks, so
only one quarterback in the league has less than Teddy.
Russell Wilson.
Cousins.
Well, Russell Wilson only has 1 pick on the year, so
He has a couple fumbles though.
no, he doesn't. I don't think he does. You could double check that. I'm almost positive Russ only has 1 turnover. Granted, he should only have 1 turnover. But yeah, Vegas looked a lot better without Gruden, which is surprising. I would have thought Gruden. I don't know how much of it was Gruden. I don't know how much offensive play calling was Gruden, but yeah, they looked good in their first game without him. They looked good. They looked like they wanted to be out there, no distractions, and yeah. But Denver, similar to Carolina, is 0-3 in the last 3 after going 3-0 to start the year. So I'm not sure exactly what the hell the problem is out in Denver right now, because they didn't really have a problem. They were doing fine the first 3 weeks, but we always bring this back. They beat very bad teams, so maybe they're just the team that's great against bad teams and shit against above average teams. So you ready to talk about Sunday Night Football and what a game that was? What a mess that was.
Yeah.
Where should we
I
start?
mean, they got a little bit of everything in that game.
Yeah. Let's start with the first half where Seahawks did literally nothing on offense, and they were just getting absolutely worked. That's the best way I could put that offense in the first half.
The second half kind of turned it around.
Yeah, they came out with the second half. They got ball back. They got ball to start the second half. And dude, I think they threw it one time and let Alex Collins just run the length of the field.
Yeah.
Was that the drive where TJ Watt just pieced up Alex Collins too? Yeah, so yeah, there was not much really to talk about in the first half other than Seahawks defense was awful. I don't know why Ken Norton has such a hard on for putting his defensive ends in coverage every other play. That just seems like a terrible idea because they're defensive ends, not linebackers.
Yeah, they're not built that way.
Yeah, they're not built for coverage. They're built for, I don't know, rushing the passer or something. Just a thought.
That's something Seattle doesn't do.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know firsthand. They let up 2 touchdowns. I don't remember what the second touchdown. I remember one of them was Najee Harris out route with Benson Mayowa in coverage for some reason. I don't remember what the other touchdown was. Yeah, I have no idea what the other touchdown was. But the Seahawks went down 14-0 to end the first half. They came out second half just running the ball down Pittsburgh's throat. Alex Collins ended up getting pieced up by T.J. Watt towards the goal line. It was funny as hell because you just see T.J. Watt just start punching this dude, trying to punch the ball out. But I think most of his punches were actually hitting Collins.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a personal foul.
You're getting assaulted out there.
I know. Seahawks ended up mounting a comeback. They ended up getting another touchdown.
The second touchdown was a 1-yard Eric Ebron punch in.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was a basically a handoff to Eric Ebron. Thank you for reminding me because I blocked that play out from my mind. Seahawks ended up scoring another touchdown set up by a very good run after catch by Gerald Everett, where he just straight bodied like 3 people. The last like 2 minutes of the game were wild. Regulation, I should say. First off, Jamal Adams in his player introduction said he is the best in the nation. People were clowning him, even though it was a tribute to a player that was shot in like October 2020 or something, if I remember correctly. So he did the "I'm the best in the nation" type thing in his intro. Then he had the chance to seal the game. He had a chance to call game. He almost made my prediction of Jamal Adams getting a pick happen, but that Big Ben threw the ball straight at his forehead and it just doinked him.
It's not meant to be for that man. He's not supposed to get fixed.
Apparently so. That was the. Granted, he hasn't been tested a lot, and that he had his chance. He had his chance to call game, and I know Jamal Adams would do anything to have that play back.
Well, yeah. Anytime you just doink it off your forehead, it's not going to be the best.
Well, obviously. But they ended up kicking a field goal that drive to put them up 20 or 17. It was I think it was 17. May have been 17. I'm gonna say 17. To put them at 17, yeah. And then Gino laid a drive to put them in Seahawks in field goal range. And DK almost sold. It was a wild 2 minutes for Seahawks fans.
Yeah, DK he tried to play hero ball. He threw it back towards. He didn't even fumble it out of bounds. He just threw it back towards the middle of the field, pretty much.
It got punched back in bounds. Because he didn't try to lateral it. He tried to get as many yards as he could, but it got punched out. And it took a weird bounce where it bounced in bounds, even though he was right on the sideline. So
it was weird. Then he got mad at Shannon Sharp about it.
Yeah. But we're not going to talk about that here because I don't feel like being even more depressed than I need to be. I don't know if you saw, but
Shannon Sharp was right though.
Oh, absolutely. Shannon Sharp had all the reason to talk the way he did because DK did almost mess up, F it up.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip of Freddie Swain? He's the one that jumped on the fumble. Did you see the clip of Russell Wilson running over to him and said, "Get your ass up and go"? Did you see that?
I did see that. I even noticed it while it was happening. I was like, "What the fuck is Russ doing?" Oh, there he goes.
He was yelling at Freddie Swain, "Get your ass up and get to the give the ball up or something." But yeah. Coach Russ.
People again Russ is doing too much and all this and that. Russ is just being the franchise player they pay him to be.
Yeah, he's doing what franchise QBs should be doing.
Even if he's hurt, he should still be doing things to contribute to the team in positive ways.
Yeah.
So, I have no problem with what he's doing.
Oh, neither do I. And then after that fumble, there was a whole 10-minute review of whether if it was truly a fumble, I think is what they were ruling it. But
and how much time should be on the clock.
Yeah, it was a wild last 3 seconds because they ran the ball back and the Seahawks were able to spike it, but the clock said 000, and then the Steelers were celebrating, and then the ref's like, no, wait, we were reviewing something. go back, and it was
Which
a.
I think that was a horse.
I
I
don't
think
think they
it's the
should have
Seahawks. I just
reviewed
think
it.
it's a terrible review because
It was
really
obvious
fumbled.
he had the ball, and it was definitely a
They
fumble.
fumbled. Knew who recovered it.
I don't know what they were reviewing. And it didn't really matter because the Seahawks, after review, they were showing the spike, and he definitely had a second or two left after he spiked it. So
Absolutely.
it didn't really matter because they were still gonna get the spike off and whatever, and they kicked the field goal, which sent the game to overtime. For some reason, Russ was out there doing the coin toss. I thought was funny. And then we had a very unfortunate overtime period for the Seahawks. We Seahawks had the ball first. They don't really do anything. Punt it. Steelers 3-and-out. That Presley Harvin kid dude has a leg.
Hey, it's part of the Big Ball Association.
Yeah. And this dude booted this thing to the moon. And I think it was the first play of Seahawks' second drive. Or maybe it was like their first or second. Geno Smith fumbles the ball after getting tomahawked in the hand by TJ Watt. And I know they replayed it so many times, but the commentator said they had like the entire state of Washington blocking TJ Watt on that play, and he still made the play. So it was unfortunate that back-to-back weeks, Geno Smith turned the ball over in crucial moments. But he came out to the podium after the game saying, "Yeah, these two losses have been on me. I have to be better with the ball." I don't think that pick against the Rams was necessarily his fault. I think we've talked about this multiple times. If Lockett doesn't trip, that's a dot. And
Absolutely.
and this game against this last game against the Steelers, it was just a great play by TJ. Geno did everything right. He had two hands on the ball. He wasn't just like being willy nilly with it. He wasn't being.
Quarterback's gonna be ready. TJ Watt, it looked like he literally just sidestepped like four dudes.
Yeah.
Quarterback looking out for that.
Yeah. So I don't think I think Geno's done. He's played fine. Granted, he hasn't won, but I think he's played well enough to warrant him being. Yeah, I think this is the guy we're gonna roll with in lieu of Russ for now. They talked to Cam Newton, but they're not gonna bring him in. So
Because as soon as Cam Newton stops getting the starting job, he's gonna want to leave again.
yeah, so I think Geno played a fine game. Wish he would have got more from him, but someone who hasn't started in like 4 years, I think he played well.
One thing he didn't do is take you guys out of the game, like some
Yeah,
quarterbacks do.
he did not play us out of the game, but you have to imagine if we had Russ, that's an easy Seahawks win. So that's the one bright spot for Seahawks fans. Geno did not play bad. He kept us in the game for most part, and it was just a great play by TJ Watt, more so than a bad play by Geno. On to Monday Night Football. And Cody, long may he reign. Long may King Henry reign.
Derrick Henry's a monster. That's all it is to it, you know.
He had his hat trick of hat tricks this week. So
The monster. I mean, he's going to single-handedly carry the Titans to the playoffs, in my opinion. And
yeah, it is insane how dominant Derrick
know
Henry
this,
is.
I don't know if you know this or not, but the Titans, they have two running backs on the roster.
Do they really?
I honestly would never would have guessed it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen the other running back.
Do you even know his name?
No, I do not.
Nichols.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that name before.
Just saw him today when I was scrolling through fantasy.
The only way that man's ever getting touches is if Derrick Henry tears his ACL in both his legs.
I don't think that's ever going to happen either.
No, this man is built like a tank. But I do have to. There's one question coming out of this game, and why the hell did Buffalo not kick the 3?
Analytics say go for it.
I
Smartness says pick your three.
it's similar to the Bill Belichick or the Tampa Patriots game that happened a few weeks ago, where they were just outside of they were in quote unquote field goal range for their kicker, but it was bad weather, very far, and your quarterback was been good all day. So it's just another one of those. Why would you try to do it?
As Pat McAfee said today, analytics may say it's smart to just kick your three, but how many times did those analytics calculated for Derrick Henry being unstoppable on the other side of the
You know,
ball?
that's fair. That is a very fair assessment.
I'm assuming McDermott just said we're gonna go for the win. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it helps that them being the AFC East, which is such a bad division right now, outside of Buffalo, that they could
What are they
kind of
now?
afford to take a loss.
I said, what are they now? 4-2 with like a 2-game lead.
Yeah, I'm gonna, New England's probably second place if I had to guess, because I
I think
think
they are
both
because
Miami and New York are one in whatever. So
4, 4-5.
yeah, so it makes I don't necessarily blame McDermott for going for it, but if I was the head coach, I would have took my three just cause that's kind of who I am as a play caller. But I say that as if I'm like an actual coach or something. But yeah. All right, Thursday night football. We have Denver versus Cleveland. This is a big game for both these teams because Denver needs to get right on the right track after taking three straight L's, and Cleveland needs to be able to overcome these injuries if they want to have any chance this season. So
They gotta take a page out of the old Baltimore Ravens book this week.
yeah, which I don't think they want to do because they're division rivals, but they are going to have to. But
I think Cleveland will get it done, but only because I don't see Denver being that great of a team. Teddy Bridgewater's playing good football, but there's not a whole lot of people out there playing good around him either.
I feel you on that point. But I think Denver is going. I think Denver is more desperate for this win than Cleveland. That they are going to be playing their hearts out. This is the perfect chance for them to get a easy, quote unquote, easy dub. There's no easy dubs in the NFL. But
No.
this is going to be one of their easier games they have this season. Especially going into this season, you probably wouldn't have said that. But right now, this is going to be one of their easier games because everyone on this Browns team is hurt. So they have to take advantage. And if they want to be competing, they have to get this win. So I'm gonna go with Denver this game.
I'm gonna go with. I'll probably go with Denver too.
You're gonna go with
I'm
Denver?
looking at the Browns. Looking at the Browns' schedule, the only teams they've beat is the Texans, Bears, and Vikings. They've lost to every halfway decent team they've played. They lost to the damn Chiefs.
But that was week 1, wasn't it? When the Chiefs were actually good.
The defense still gave up 30 points.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. I think Cleveland just has too many injuries. I don't think they're a Baltimore team. I don't think they could be like Baltimore and overcome these injuries because these injuries are two significant players. They're top 2 running backs, the lifeblood of their offense. So
They rely on the run game. I don't think there's any more running backs there that can handle 200, 300 yards a game.
yeah, like with Baltimore, they could kind of get away with it because Lamar Jackson is the one that makes that offense. Baker does not make that offense. It's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt that make that offense, and without both of them, they are going to struggle. At least I think
Absolutely.
they're going to struggle. So we will see. But we both got taken. We both are taking Denver this game. I hope that it's a close game.
Me too.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is like a ugly type of game out here. So yeah, that's this episode. And like always, be sure to always follow us on our socials. That's shows, personal. Cody's pointing at his. Like, comment, subscribe, the usual stuff. And we will see you all on Saturday when we give our predictions for the rest of week 7. Bye-bye.
Bye.